Hey Nerd Nation, welcome to History of. I'm your host and resident superhero nerd, Aaron Waller, and this is a series where we do a deep dive into various comic book characters, both heroes and villains, and give a little bit more insight as to who they are and why they do what they do. And in today's video, I want to talk about a DC character that's extremely powerful, although he's often forgotten or has a very small part to play despite that amazing power, and that's Dr. Fate. And such has been with many characters in this series, there have been several characters that have taken up the mantle of Dr. Fate, but for the purposes of this video, we're only going to be talking about the most popular one, which also happens to be the original Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson. Dr. Fate was created by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman and first appeared in More Fun Comics number 55 in 1940 and introduced the golden age of comic books. Now, Kent Nelson as Dr. Fate didn't actually get much of a background for a majority of his early years and didn't really get an origin story or explanation to his alter ego until a year after his debut in More Fun Comics number 67 in 1941. Talk about a man of mystery. Kent Nelson didn't have your typical childhood. His father was an archaeologist who believed that the pyramids of the Valley of Ur were built by aliens. On one expedition, he would bring his son Kent and they would find remains of Nabu, the Lord of Order. I say Nabu, but I feel like that's a Star Wars thing. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's just always how I've said it. Now, a little bit of backstory on the Lords of Order. They were actually created alongside the Lords of Chaos, and they feuded for millennia before Nabu finally went to Earth to fight the Lord of Chaos, where his remains would ultimately end up in the pyramids. Now back to present day with Kent and his father, they would accidentally release Nabu, causing a poisonous gas to be released, killing Kent's father. And Nabu, seeing this, takes pity on Kent and spares his life, feeling bad that his dad just died, thanks for that dude, and decides that he would train Kent in the ways of magic and sorcery to ultimately become the defender of Earth. The two would spend years training until they would ultimately merge to become Dr. Fate. They would end up traveling back to America and take up heroing along with his girlfriend turned wife, Inza Kramer, and they would in turn form DC's first superhero team, the Justice Society of America. And it's during this time that Kent would often switch to using only half of the helmet due to Nabu possessing him through the helmet, to which Kent would eventually just take it off and go off and become a physician and eventually join the army to serve in World War II, after which he would eventually resign from the JSA and become an archaeologist just like his father. He would eventually go back to heroing with the Justice Society when they reform and begins to use the helmet once again before he later founds a new Justice League. Throughout comic history, however, he would pop up in various comics like Showcase number 55 and 56, where he would hang out with Hourman, World's Finest Comics number 201 in 1971 and chill with Superman, and he would show up in The Brave and the Bold number 156 in 1979 to kick it with Batman, but he would primarily rear his helmet during Justice Society and Justice League crossovers beginning in 1963. During the 80s, however, Dr. Fate would become a part of DC's All-Star Squadron, where a lot of his stories would be expanded upon until 1985, where his origin story would be retold during an issue of The Flash and be given a 3-issue limited series called The Immortal Dr. Fate. He would later join the Justice League during the Crisis on Infinite Earth story, which, I mean, who didn't show up at some point during that story? And then again during the Zero Hour Crisis in the 90s. Kent and his wife Inza merge into Dr. Fate and would end up being aged rapidly and forced to hunt down the magical artifacts of Dr. Fate, but are killed in the process, leaving Jared Stevens, the smuggler who recovered the artifacts, to become the new Dr. Fate. But as was with just about every character on the series, he doesn't stay dead for long. We didn't say that for like a couple of episodes. I'm so proud of us. But when he is resurrected during the Blackest Night story, he briefly joins the Black Lantern Corps. Then once DC Rebirth rolled around, Kent was once again rebooted and becomes Dr. Fate and meets his grandnephew, who is the current Dr. Fate, and takes control of the mantle again to help Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. During the Dark Knights Metal event, Dr. Fate would assist the Justice League in fighting the Dark Knights and is supposedly killed by Black Adam in the process. However, he would somewhat return during Doomsday Clock, where he would appear in some old footage mailed to Lois Lane on a flash drive as a member of the Justice Society. And now, Dr. Fate is no stranger to really any form of media. He's appeared in plenty of video games like DC Universe Online as an NPC and as a playable character in Injustice 2, as well as he's appeared in animated series including Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and Young Justice, and even animated specials including Justice League The New Frontier and Justice Society World War II. And he's even appeared in live action before as well, in Smallville, where he was played by Brent State, and also more recently in the Stargirl series. But soon he will be getting his big screen debut in the upcoming film Black Adam, where he'll be played by former 007 Pierce Brosnan opposite Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, which there also happens to be a History Of character right here on the Nerd channel, so be sure to check that out. Now, we haven't really talked too much about Dr. Fate's powers yet in this video. Well, here you go. He has an enchanted physique that even without He has an enchanted physique, though even without his magical powers, he is physically stronger than a normal person. He also happens to be immortal, as his body is pure force when it's willed to be, and can make him unaffected by even death itself by neither aging and being immune to any disease. Dr. Fate is also extremely intelligent, possesses telekinesis, healing, can fly, can become invisible, telepathic, is a master of illusions, as well as can manipulate the likes of energy, matter, and even time. He's also typically seen with a myriad of objects, but the most iconic is his helmet of fate, which is the source of all of his power. So those are some of the things you need to know about Dr. Fate. Did you learn anything in this video you may not have known otherwise? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as also leave me a suggestion as to any other characters you would like to see on this series. Your suggestion might become next week's video. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you miss out on any future content from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team. And also be sure to give us a like and follow on Facebook so you don't miss any special news, announcements, or when we post a new blog article at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these videos on screen, like my recent video talking about the possible end of the DCEU caused by The Flash. Or if you're an anime fan, check out the latest review from Ash right over here. She did an amazing job on it. Be sure to check out that video as well. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. We hope to see you in the next video.